Hello, and welcome to New Beginnings Start Today, the podcast that it, that it's I make this for people who want to grow in their faith in the Lord. I'm your host, Dr. Douglas Keffer, a minister, licensed clinical pastoral counselor here in Roanoke, Virginia, and I have a passion to help people live their faith. Today we will talk about contentment. Is it possible? And how you can trust God to provide everything that you need to allow you to feel fulfilled and satisfied. Let's begin. We are being bombarded by advertisers who want to get our attention in order to make us think that we have to have bigger and better things in order to feel satisfied in life. We see it when the commercials depict us driving a Lincoln Navigator, and we find ourselves in an uncompromised environment of luxury that we truly deserve. Then they show the cost to lease that vehicle, and that payment is more than most house payments, plus what is due at signing. We are being told that we need a bigger house that has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and a beautiful swimming pool. Are you content with the clothes hanging in your closet? Or do you have to go and get the latest fashions for whatever season you are living in? I see the commercials from the frontline department stores showing off their latest fashions and portraying the image that if you go and buy their products, you will have a wonderful day walking out of the house feeling like $1,000,000. I can take you to my closet and show you dress shirts and dress pants that I've had for over 25 years, and they still look great. I was in a long sleeved dress shirt and a tie for over 50 years. I did not even, and I do not even own a short sleeved dress shirt. No. Could I go and buy new shirts and pants that are the latest fashion? Of course I could. But I am very content with the nice things I already have. My wife is the same. The reason we can live like this is because our satisfaction, our contentment is found in knowing that God supplies all of our needs and knows those needs even before we ask them. Contentment is linked into trusting in God's sovereignty and his plan for one's life. King David shared about how we can find contentment in our relationship with God as he supplied our needs when he wrote, I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Therefore, my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also will rest secure because you will not abandon me like the realm or to the realm of the dead, nor will you let your faithful one see decay. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Psalm 16, verses 8 through 11. It is so important to stay focused on what is happening in our daily living because there are so many distractions that Satan wants to use to pull us away from trusting what God's word promises. You have to learn how to keep my eyes on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. You have to be diligent in how you are allowing your mind to be disciplined to believe that what you read in the Bible to be true for your life. The reference to my right hand is always used as being the source of strength, being strong. I cannot tell you how important this is for your life because living this kind of discipline will give you contentment in what it is you do with your life. I knew at a very early age that God had purposed me for the ministry. I dedicated my life to the ministry when I was 11 years old. I started to preach when I was 16, and because I knew He was with me, I was not shaken from that commitment. My life has been ever blessed. King David also talks about us having a testimony of what it is that we have seen God doing in our lives. Therefore, my heart is glad, and my tongue rejoices in how he puts it. I want to encourage you to see the importance for you to be able to tell people how you are being blessed because of your relationship with God. Tell them about his faithfulness to supply your needs beyond what you can imagine. Having that mindset gives you a joy that the world cannot offer because it is too busy seeking its own selfishness. You do not have to go far to know that most people you come in contact with have very little contentment. It's true. What you hear is their dissatisfaction with their lives because they are always seeking more and more and more stuff. I'm thinking of a woman I counseled that came from a very hard background, very traumatic background. She married a man that was well off, and he lavished her with many wonderful things. She wanted for nothing, but that wasn't enough for her. She would take his credit cards and go on shopping sprees and buy things that she really didn't need, but she wanted them. She spent thousands of dollars, and when confronted, she couldn't understand why her husband was upset. I really worked at letting her know that God would make known to her path the way of life. She did not want to hear that because she did not really believe could forgive her for the many acts of sin that she had committed. Her addiction to drugs and sex would not allow her to be fulfilled in her relationship to a husband who truly loved her or a savior who could love her completely. There are multitudes of people living in this lie and are hopelessly lost. Hopelessly. When you find this kind of contentment, it means that God is in control and has a purpose for everything, even in the difficult times. We are truly living in a very difficult time. When I look at the social unrest in our society today, it alarms me. Headlines are consistently talking about the corruption we find in our local, our state, and national levels of government. The accusations that are flying around make it difficult to believe anything that you read or hear on the news or on the networks. What makes it possible for me not to lose hope in this is the fact that I know God is still in control and He is only going to allow this madness to go so far. The Apostle Paul addresses the fact in this life we will live and have to struggle against the evil of this world when he wrote, "That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am made strong." 2 Corinthians 12th chapter and verse 10. He endured all those things we are thrown that are thrown at him by those who sought his destruction for Christ's sake. It takes strength to delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. What was his secret? For when I am weak, then I am made strong. He knew the secret of trusting God in all of his circumstances because in all of this mayhem, he knew that God was still in control and he trusted him with his life. The difficulties you face today are real and can be very overwhelming. No matter what they are, I want you to believe that God is aware of your need and He will supply what you need in His will for your life. As we trust God, give thanks in all circumstances, and find freedom from worry and anxiety, we will experience God's presence and peace as we trust God that way. Learning to give God thanks in all your circumstances can bring real challenges, can be real challenging at times. Things come up in our lives that we do not have the answers to. And that can cause us to naturally worry because it brings on an anxiety of how things are really going to turn out. I'm thinking of several of our friends that right now are dealing with cancer, and they do not know where all of that is going to lead. They have undergone pretty aggressive treatments or are still having treatments trying to have their bodies respond to the treatments to have a better quality of life. I'm also thinking of several friends who are going through some very difficult marriage situations that have resulted in divorce or are getting a divorce, and one of that just doesn't know what direction to go because they feel guilty if they pursue a divorce. Still, others struggle with worry and are anxious about being able to pay their bills on a monthly basis. I know a single mom working two jobs just to put food on the table and trying to meet her other monthly bills. She has no help from her estranged husband, who is thousands of dollars behind in child support, and it seems and he sees no need to do anything about that sinful behavior. It is our relationship with Jesus that gives us the freedom from the pangs of this kind of worry. Jesus said it well when Dr. Luke wrote, "Then he said to them, 'Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Luke 12 and verse 15. We have to have an understanding that the world says that you can never have enough. There is always going to be something else you will want or crave. That mindset will never allow you to find contentment and feel satisfied with what you have. I want you to look at all that you have and see how blessed you are right now with God's care in your life. The Apostle Paul shared with a great truth, with his young friend Timothy when he wrote, "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that." 1 Timothy 6, verses 6 through 8. You must see the value of your relationship with God that makes you moral and gives you contentment in your life. Paul says that it is a great gain. You have to remember the simple truth that you brought nothing into this world and you are not going to take anything with you when you die and you leave this world. Having a contentment with the basic necessities in life, food and clothing, will enable you to find joy and satisfaction that only God can give you because of His love and blessings to you. That is contentment. That is what is possible. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I want to invite you to contact me and share how you have found contentment and satisfaction with your circumstances by thanking God for His provisions. Answer this question. What is giving you a sense of contentment in this very materialistic world? If you are seeing this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the like button. Also click on the share button and share it with all your friends. That would be so helpful to me. Tell me about other issues that you would like me to address by leaving your comments. And you can email me at drdouglaskeffer@gmail.com. I also encourage you to pick up a copy of my book, New Beginnings Start Today with God. And you can get that on my website. Click the link below. Until next time, God bless you each and every one.